Well, good afternoon. Lunchtime. Welcome to Winnipeg. Dan Vaughn with you on Monarchs Mocha for a lunchtime here in Canada. Found a really cool place. I'll tell you about it next. Let's talk Monarchs baseball. Here we go. Let's roll the open. Brought to you by the Roastery Coffee Company, Kansas City. Let's do that in 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Groovy coffee music. All righty. Well, good afternoon to you. Happy lunch hour to you. Welcome to Winnipeg. Dan Vaughn with you. Voice of the Kansas City Monarchs. Everybody kind of get in here. Don't know how much of the chat I'm going to see. Let me see if I can pull some of this up. And, of course, this is brought to you by the Roastery Coffee Company in Kansas City. 6 locations. We serve you, of course, Price Chopper as well. My favorite is the factory store, but why wouldn't it be, right? The drive-thru's right there with the DC free above it. I mean, why wouldn't it be, right? So, anyway, let me, yeah, we are on. Let me double check here. Am I hearing myself? Can I hear myself? I am hearing myself. That's awesome. I am hearing myself. Yeah, I love it when I hear myself. All right, everybody, let you guys get in here. And we come your way from Winnipeg. We are in, it's really good, too. This is a really good mocha right here. Really good right here. It's Thomas Bargain. It's a corner of a street called Grand Mall and Kennedy. That's right. Because Vaughan Street's that way. Really, Vaughan Street is a block over. How about that? Vaugh, A-N's a block over. This is Kennedy. And then you've got this Grand Mall here. This is very Australian, too. This is very Perth. It's very bright. I mean, look how bright this place is. And I mean, it's on a corner, and the door actually faces to the inner, it doesn't actually, how's the word for it? There's a word for it. The door faces out the intersection, right? So it's literally the corner, right? It's a corner lot, and the entire building that goes, I'm facing north here. Thank you very much, lovely wife. I'm facing north. I'm sorry, rephrase that. I'm facing south. You're looking at me from the north. In this east-west, the lighting goes east-west on this side and north-south on this side. It's got a really good vibe to it. And they've got a little kitchen here. There's a little boutique behind me, too. WD-40, you'd like this. A little kind of, I don't know, it's got some homewares and some little knickknacks and stuff, kind of cool. Looks very Country Club Plaza, really, to be honest with you. Thank you very much. The stripes. We'll take your questions and comments. I'm going to try to load the highlights in, too. I don't know if they'll load in because of we're borrowing the Wi-Fi, obviously, here. Let me get the graphic up, too, but I do want to take your questions, comments. Last night, good news last night is a late one. Many of the guys didn't get back to for the ballpark until the game ended about 1:45 midnight. I got back at 1:10 or so. By the time I walked back, I got the game story done, and game story was done and sent about about 12:45, so it was late. The team doesn't take the bus back to the hotel. The hotel's so close. About a 10-minute walk, and we're downtown, so it's all congested, right? So, I mean, it's no place to park the bus and all that. So, anyway, where's everybody today? Did I come in too late? Is that what it was? Let's see here. Right now, it's only family watching. It's not what I was. I mean, I'm glad the family's watching, but I need Monarchs fans here. I need people that want to talk Monarchs baseball. And I appreciate the support, though, Mom and GM. Last night, started out 1-0. Ron Grosjean's home run in the first inning. They tied it up in the second, and then it stayed that way to the fourth, and Kansas City took advantage of a couple of walks. A lot of two-out runs last night. That was sort of their theme. I know that's Red Steve Schuster's story, and they talked about the two-outs RBIs last night, but the Monarchs had two really big innings and two outs. The first one came in that fourth inning, Casey Gillespie's two-run home run. But again, the walks set that up. And then coming in they came back in the fifth. They came back in the fourth, 4-2. And Kansas City got two more, make it 6-2, 6-1, pardon me. 6-1. And then they came back in the fifth inning, made it 6-3, and the 6-4. Got my numbers all messed up. Then a big inning, and again, two-out runs there too. But again, it's why the game's designed that way. And Ramirez, again, only walked the two, gave the home run, then he lost his kind of third time through, and hit the wall. Same thing for Matt Hartman last night. Hartman was very, pretty much spot on, except the 6 walks. That's because his pitch count up. That's why he doesn't get through the fifth inning. Glowicki comes in last night, gives the inherited runs up, but keeps the ball game right there at 6-4. Kansas City goes on, gets the lead back up to 10-4, and eventually rolls away with it 12-5. They got a home run late. If Max Murphy, who's the league's leading home run hitter, is hitting home runs in the ninth inning when his team's down by 12-4, they're down by 8, I think you've accomplished something, right? I mean, I think that's what you want to do. I mean, you tip your cap on the home run, and you say, well, okay, we'll live another day. And Valdez give the home run up late. I don't have an update on Brandon Coach. I know Brandon came out last night. I watched the video. Only players I've seen today are Casey Gillespie in passing at the coffee shop this morning. And I saw Nick Belzer coming down the elevator. When I was coming down, he was going up. He didn't know anything. So we're going to update on the Swope Health Report tonight on the Top Step of Joe Capietri, brought to you by your Midwest Ford dealers. But in case you missed it, Brandon Coach was warming up. I watched the video. I can't tell you really what happened. I don't know if that was ouch, I hurt something, and he doubles over his arm, or ouch, I don't feel good, I feel sick. Because he didn't hesitate. When he said he was done, he was done. He walked off with Jeremy Shaw. Or was that I pulled something I've been over? I don't know. But whatever the case may be, Brandon wasn't available last night late. So anyway, all right, let's see if I can handle the highlights in for you. I do have some of them last night. While we're chatting here, again, questions and comments about last night, about the win. Again, it was 12-5. There we go here. Oh, sorry about that. Where are we at? We're on Mocha, right? Yeah, we go. But yeah, that's the concern last night. And then, Glowicki was really, really good. The team did what the team needed to do. I mean, and I'm going to share the standings in a moment too. Let me get the highlights here, because that's going to help set this up here if I can find them. I already did them. I did them last night about 3, so I know that. I know they're done. Just going to find them. I mean, it was blurry. Here we go. It was blurry-eyed last night. Just work. They probably still, yeah. Again, There is a place on the way back from the ballpark that's open. Kitchen's open at 12:30 or 12:45. Anyway, no, I almost thought I'll go there, have a cold one and relax, but it was just literally when I got the game straight, it was 1 o'clock. They're at the ballpark. Lights are off. It's me, the security guards, and the poor bat boys who are still cleaning up. The bat boys look like to be high school age. One of the guys' dads, as I'm walking out Shaw Park last night, the dad's son is sitting there, kind of leaned over the corner, kind of half awake, half asleep. And son comes right behind me from the bottom of the ballpark, and even working. He was probably a freshman in high school. Dad had to wait at the ballpark for son to finish bat boying last night. And because the bat boy duties include cleaning up the dugouts, the clubhouse, helping the clubby, and all that. So they were up there late too last night. So there's that. Anyway, waiting for the highlights to load here. Let's also pull up the standings while we're here. I got a phone call this morning from Morgan Kalinda and Ticket Nick. They called in and double checked. There we go. I do believe we're back. The user's computer is awful. That's what it is. Yeah, I'm frozen. No, it's not bad. It's not bad up here. Again, we're using Wi-Fi, and I'm using an outdated device. That's probably part of the problem. Tools are very important in this business. That's why radio sounds as good as it does, because I've invested in the tools, but I've only invested so much. Yeah, we're back. Anyway, got a Mocha here. I was trying to load the highlights, and that may have been what kicked us off. I was worried about that. And let's see here. Let's try it again. I'm going to try one more. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll share them. I'll screen share them. That seems to be the easiest thing to do. So let me share those with you real quickly here. That seems to be the better thing because we are bandwidth thing right here. So give me a moment. Again, GM, there's no need for that, really. There's no need for that. Seriously. Stop. We're working here as best we can, and we're going to do a really good job. We're putting a quality show on as best we can do. So there's no need for that. Yes, Morgan and Nick called me this morning, and they were like, are we waking you? And I'm like, well, the honest to God truth was they did wake me up, and thankfully they did, because I was dragging and I need to get up and get going. I need to get my workout in. I want to get here. I walked by this place yesterday and I make sure this is where I want to come. And they had explained to them. So let me explain to you here in just a moment why they called me. So yes, I'll get the phone call from Morgan. But let me do this. We do that. I want to look at last night, don't we? Let's look at last night. Look at what happened last night. If I can find it for us here. There we go. Okay, I'm going to screen share this, so you guys bear with me. Let me load it in here. We'll go ahead and play this for you. This is going to be last night's highlights. Now, they're not all of them because there were a couple of them I kind of skipped, but let's pause that. In just a moment here. There we go. All right. To get to screen share takes a little bit of a setup here, so give me just a moment here. All righty, let's do. Where is it? Sorry, folks. This really is embarrassing because I should be more prepared than this. Let's try this now. I swear, you guys, I used to be able to get this show, but I'm worse. I'm getting worse and worse by the minute. Just terrible. Good grief. All right. Let's try it now. I probably should have done this in the first place. Here we go. Here's Monarchs good news highlights from last night. And let's go ahead and roll these from last night. And here we go. In 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Yes, it was amazing. He's doing great. We'll talk about him in just a moment, too. Let's roll the highlights from last night. And let's press play. There we go.
It's gone. See you later. A solo home run. He will touch them all. It's 1-0 Kansas City. On a solo home run from Ryan Rochon. It's his fifth rally under 15. See you later. 1-0 Monarchs. Ball's gonna be gone. See you later. A 3-run home run for Casey Gillespie. He will touch them all. 12th Road Bomb of the year. 17 home runs. RBI 63, 64, and 65. 4-1 Kansas City. Right side, base hit, going to run home. Rochon around third, Eagles score. And the Maple Hammer races for 2. In the second base, he is in there. It's 6-1 Kansas City. Come on, Sam. They know it will make the play. Here comes one run. Here comes another. And Santa is at second base with them. And outstanding effort for Rice with the left, but he fell forward, just kicking off the glove and getting down. And the Monarchs make a 9-4 in the 6th inning. That's a base hit. Now it's second RBI today. 12-4 Kansas City. Right back up. One on the first and got him. Oh yeah. Turn up right into the play. Flash that leather, Kevin Santa 4-6. Turn him, burn him 6-3. Here's the inning. Right we go.
And that was last night. That was the good news highlights from last night. And, of course, back here on the show. And let me bring this down and bring that off. And we're all good. There we go. Good news highlights. Of course, this show brought to you by the Roastery Coffee Company in Kansas City. 6 locations to serve you. Let's go back to what you guys are saying. Jane says, so great to see Jacob Robson in your lineup. Awesome guy, an amazing player. Yes, he is. I was telling Thomas last night, he had 11 RBIs in a span of, 11 RBIs in 10 ball games. And you add more to it last night. I believe that's 13 in 10 now because it resets, obviously, at 10, but obviously. But yeah, great game, Dan. Great game last night. The team has become different. And what I mean by that, it's become a quicker team. And yes, the big ball, the big blast still is there, but this team is able to get on base, and either with the double, Kevin Santa has been a doubles machine. Casey doubles and homers. You know, it seemed like for a better part of July, we sort of, you watch this team just hit home run after home run, 4 and 5 home run games, 3 home run games. This team hit 2 last night, and I think the power, because it's coming from so many different people. And something Joe talked about with me over the weekend when we talked about the home run numbers. What's been amazing is, yes, Matt Adams has a big chunk of them. John Hernandez has a big chunk. But you look at it again, it's like last night. You've got double-digit home runs for J.C. Escotter, Darnell Sweeney. Jacob Robson will extrapolate that. How is Brandon? Yes, I mentioned that earlier in the Open. At the moment, I don't know any updates. I did see Casey this morning coming back from my walk, and I saw Nick Belzer as I was coming down here, and he didn't know anything. Home run count, too. I'll get to that as well. Home run count is at 159. Monarchs need 3 to tie the franchise record, 4 to set a franchise record with 6 games to go. But Brandon, I did not get a clarification because the game was so late last night. I didn't get back to the hotel till 1. And again, I only seen Casey in the coffee shop this morning. And then I saw Nick he was coming out one elevator and I was coming out with another. So we'll have an update for you, though, on the top step tonight on the radio side. And home run totals, pretty impressive. That's what I was saying, is that a lot of teams, and I'll use Winnipeg as an example, okay? Winnipeg's home runs are coming basically from 3 bodies. David Washington and also Max Murphy. Now, they've still got home runs scattered across, but half their home runs come from those gentlemen, right? That's a 30 home run guy and a 28 home run guy. They got 120 home runs, something like that. So about 40% of home runs. The Monarchs, again, you're looking at much what you saw last year. Remember, this is a team last year where Grotjohn had double-digit home runs. Morgan McCullough had double-digit home runs. You get the same thing again this year. Robson's closing in on he got a home run last night, but Robson is, let's just pull those numbers up for you. So really, it's like I said, Joe and I talked about this over the weekend on the top step. Here are home run totals, okay? Adams, 27, Hernandez, 23, and then Thompson, 19. Well, 2 of those players aren't active, right? One of them is along with you. He's injured for the year. Other one is not with us for personal reasons. So Gillespie has 17. Abreu is along with you. He had 13, but Sweeney, 13. Ascara, 12. Robson's got 7. Would you bet against him getting to 10? He's got 7 in 23 ball games. By the way, he's got 28 RBIs in 28 3-bar. He's got 28 RBIs in 23 ball games. Pretty impressive stuff. And then Almeida's got 6. Grosjean's got 5 in 18 ball games, right? So you've got a real spread out attack right there. And 2 of those guys, Grosjean and Robson, have only been here for a few weeks. If you extrapolate what they would do out, you're looking at 230 home runs for this team. They're probably going to hit around 164, 65. On pace for 169 right now, depending on what happens tonight, of course. But everybody to stay healthy, yes. I would agree with you on that. Hold your breath on the whole Brendan Coach deal. I did not, again, I apologize. I got woken up this morning by a phone call, like I said, and I'll go back to that now. Morgan and Nick were in the office, and they were like, because they looked up this morning and realized that suddenly the Monarchs are 2.5 games behind Fargo, right? You're like, oh, how'd that happen? What happened? What's the story? And they asked me what their question was, when's the doubleheader for Fargo? Well, there's no doubleheader for Fargo. Fargo, by the way, it's good to see you, Don, out there. Carl as well. Fargo doesn't have a doubleheader. Fargo has the off day yesterday. It was a league-wide off day except for Kansas City and Winnipeg. Everybody else was off yesterday. So everybody was off. The Monarchs the only game, and you gained a half game temporarily. Now, that all could change on Thursday. If they win Thursday, we're idle. They get that half game back. What happens between now and then is the key. I would tell you that Kansas City needs to win this series. You take 2 of 3 here, and you take your chances, right? If you win 2 of 3 and Fargo sweeps Sioux City, well, tip your cap. Nothing you can do about that, right? I think winning 2 or 3 here would be huge. That would get you at no worse than Friday being 3 back with 4 to play. Now, here's the trick. What you got to remember is Fargo, if that's the case, if we get to Friday and the Monarchs are 3 back with 4 to play, and Kansas City was to win the first 2 ball games, they'd own the season series. No matter what Fargo did the final 2, because that would put you at right now. You'd be at 4-2. You'd be at 6-2. The best they could do is 6-4. You win that Sunday ball game, all you got to do is tie Fargo because you have the head-to-head advantage. Right now, you're 4-2 against them. If you were to win Friday, Saturday, let's just say you did win Friday, Saturday, and you're 6-2, and now it's a game back with 2 to play. All you got to do is split the final 2. So winning 3 or 4, that's the math right there. 4-game series is tricky. Now, the other scenario is Sioux City, who looks up today and finds themselves right on the bumper of Winnipeg. And let me show you that right now, because this is what gets interesting about this whole race in the division. As I'll reset the show here in just a second as well. We're downtown Winnipeg, and we're at Graham Mall and Kennedy Streets, and we're at Tom Bargain Coffee. It's great. Outstanding mocha here. I will get another. That's how good this is, okay? Really solid. So standings right here. Here we go. Standings in the association on the screen for you right there. Now, here we go. Put this down here. Again, there's 6 teams in already. Chicago, Milwaukee, Kent County. Now, Chicago, Milwaukee play a series tonight. It's a big series, Milwaukee and Chicago tonight. That's a huge series right there. And then Kent County's tied. It's a 2-way tie for second. 3 games separating all 3. And then Cleburne's firmly, barring, I guess King County could lose all 6 remaining ball games. They would catch them. I'm sorry, all 7. They go on a 7-game losing streak. Cleburne could catch them by winning 7, but Cleburne's firmly in that 4th position. They look to be holding off Gary. Gary is 4 back with the 7 to play. So Gary's pretty much got to win out and hope Cleburne gets lost and win the ballpark. So anyway, the first storyline is Chicago, Milwaukee, and King County, 1, 2, 3. Well, how's that going to work out? Right now, Chicago has the edge. They're 3 games clear. In the West, Fargo now is a 2.5 game lead. Now, here's the key. Again, Fargo is going to be in Sioux City tonight. They're there tonight, tomorrow, and Thursday. Sioux City, look at the bottom down there. They're 46-47. They're a game below 500, but they're only 4 games behind Winnipeg in the win column, only 3 games back in the loss column. They're going to become big Monarch fans because suddenly Sioux City finds themselves only 3.5 games behind Winnipeg. Monarchs win tonight. Sioux City wins tonight. That goes to 2.5. And suddenly, you look at a situation where they could literally go on this weekend against Lincoln and have a chance for 3rd position, which I don't think it's going to matter a lot necessarily on who's going to pick who, but still very interesting to look at. So Kansas City is no worse than number 2 seed in the West and number 2 overall because there's no way anybody's going to catch the Monarchs. Enough games remaining. So questions on that, questions on the standings and where that stands. But Morgan and Nick were like, hey, what's the story with that? And I was like, hey, there's no doubleheader. They played that on Saturday. They've got Sioux City is hosting Fargo. Fargo comes to us. And then it's Winnipeg is here all week. They're home tonight against us and tomorrow. And they got Sioux Falls this weekend. So that's their schedule. Winnipeg sort of seems like they're kind of preparing for next week. I think that's what they're really, because they're locked in the number 3 seed or 4 seed. They can't improve their lot. And I would tell you, somebody asked me this morning, or last night. Actually, it was Nick and Morgan asked me, what would Joe want to do? What would Joe Capietro want to do? Now, we haven't had a conversation about this directly, and his only thing we really talked about is that this team will play anybody anywhere. They're not worried about that because you're going to play everybody anyway. This whole who you're going to pick to play is for the fans. That's all to drive fan interest with the association. And I love it. I'm glad the league is doing it. I'm not against the league doing it. I think it's great. But that's more for the fans, for the league. It creates an extra wrinkle for Kansas City because I really believe, and I think in Fargo's case too, it's going to come down to travel. That's going to be the call. Do you want to get on the bus next Monday evening after you play the day game on Monday? Do you want to drive all night and be up here on Tuesday with an off day, play on Wednesday, turn around and come right back home on Thursday? Is that what you want to do? Or would you rather, and that's, again, let's put the hours up. That's about a 14-hour trip with a border crossing. Or would you rather make that same trip on, say, Wednesday morning, day of the game, for 3.5, 4-hour ride up to Sioux City? Right? Even a 9-hour drive to Fargo or a 10-hour drive to Fargo is not terrible. So I think the thing is, and look at Fargo's situation, the only thing for them, there's a difference where the Monarchs have a big advantage. Talked about this in the broadcast last night. Kansas City traveled everybody up here. There were no border restrictions coming over to this time. Everybody that needed to come up here came up here. The only players who didn't make the trip were the guys that are injured, except for Lewis Thorpe, he's here. John Harris stayed back. And then Rod Gilliam and Jalen Miller both went back to Kansas City because they're going to start Friday and Saturday at home. Those guys are not going to start here. They weren't going to pitch here. And there was no reason to travel them up and back unless they wanted to come. And it's very common that we do that. So they got sent home on Sunday and joined us over the weekend. So Fargo's situation is, what I understand from them, when I've talked to their folks, they don't have nearly the latitude. So they really want to avoid coming across the border. So I'm thinking Fargo's either going to pick going to Sioux City, depending what happens this week. If Sioux City sweeps them, they don't want any part of Sioux City. But then again, they go to Kansas City and get swept. They may want a part of Kansas City either. And I think that's where the Monarchs' mentality is. And I don't know where Fargo's is, to be honest with you, but I would imagine they're pretty much the same thing. They'll play anybody anywhere. They're the best record in the league for a reason. And Kansas City, second best record for a reason. But I think it's going to come down to travel, really. And it's a decision to make, but if you're Fargo, which one do you do? And if you're Fargo, and this is the final piece of the puzzle, if you're Fargo, the other option is to stay in Kansas City, play on Monday, be off in the hotel Monday, Tuesday, then play Wednesday, then drive home, right? That makes a lot more sense. Steal a game and go back and play two, and play the Monarchs. It's a risky proposition, but it's something to do. And it's the thought that a lot of people think will happen. I think my personal feeling is we'll be back here next Wednesday in Canada. That's what I think will happen. Because I think that what will happen is, I have a feeling Fargo takes 2 or 3 from Sioux City, and we're going to stay in the same order. And I believe Fargo probably will say, you know what? We'll go back to Sioux City. We had luck there. It's only about a 4-hour drive, and we don't have to cross the border. And all of our guys can go. That's the logic. That's what I think will happen. They'll head up and they'll be off, and they probably go right to Sioux City on Monday. That's what I would do. So those are the scenarios right there. What do you guys think? What do y'all think? Let's see here. The effort isn't. I'm not sure what you meant though. Oh, yeah, well, maybe so. I got to get this show. One of the things I'm going to work on next year is to improve this show to be the best in the league is I believe our audio stream is the best in the league. I really believe what we're doing is really, really good, and we can improve there. There's some things we're going to improve on that, but we got to improve the show. I'm going to do that. I mean, we're going to do that. We're going to, if I got to buy a dongle that reaches the moon or satellite or whatever, we're going to do it. If I got to invest, if Caroline gets a job, I guess I can use that money to invest in a fancy setup, right? Anyway, I'll get a lot. This is the fun part about it, is that there's a lot of possibilities, right? I mean, who do you guys want to play? You guys are watching me right now. Who do you want to play? Do you want to play Sioux City? Do you want to play Fargo? Do you want to play Winnipeg in the first round? Knowing that, eventually, you may have to play Fargo anyway. That's why I don't have any problem with playing Fargo first, because I'm like, you know what? You're going to play them anyway. Get them in 3 or 5. Or sorry, 3. Either way, you're going to be a 3-game series, best of 3, which I hate, by the way. But if that's the case, take advantage of that. If it favors you, take advantage of it. Wish we had just put ourselves in first by, yeah. Let me take you back, Donna, and I think Donna makes a couple good points. Let me take you guys back to August 1st. Remember when we talked about the dawning August? There were 3 two-city trips, right? 3 two-city trips consisting of 6 games each. So 6, 12, 18 ball games away from your ballpark, all in 2-city swings. Now, remember the first trip was to where? Kane County into Sioux City. What happened there? You got swept in Kane County. You won 1 ball game, the Matt Hall start in Sioux City, and got walked off in the finale, and you went 1-5. And at that point, did anybody that first week of the season, when you were you were 1-7, was right? You're 1-6 to start August. After winning 18 ball games in July, remember also the end of July, you lost that ball game in Lincoln. They got walked off by Lincoln. So you were kind of been walked off twice in 8 ball games, and I got to tell you, you were like, did you feel confident at that point that we'd be sitting here 2.5 games back with a week to play? I mean, honestly, anybody out there thought at 1-5, if you went 1-5 against Kane County and Sioux City, what did you think you were going to do in Winnipeg? Did anybody ever think you could come to Winnipeg the next time and win all 3 ball games? I know no one thought that. No one thought that. I didn't think that. I'm so happy we did. And now I think I think I've learned a lot about this club, that this club is deep and can beat you different ways. Unlike other teams, this club is not a one-trick pony. This club is very versatile, which I don't think people realize when they realize, oh, gosh, you lost your big home run hitter. Yeah, but now you've also got guys that, Winnipeg didn't know what hit them last night. When the ball got in the gap, there's no doubt. The Monarchs are going to score at least 2 runs. There's no doubt. But before, you might have had a guy on base, you're going to hold him at third base. That wasn't happening. But anyway, so you go on that first road trip, you're 1-5, you come home, get right again, you go on the second road trip. The second road trip, you win 3 ball games in Canada, shorthanded, mind you, with 2 bullpen starters, right? You go to Lincoln, and you go to, Lincoln. In Lincoln, you win 2 of 3, and you get walked off on Sunday. You should have gone 6-0 on that road trip. You had a blown save on Sunday. You should have gone 6-0 on that road trip. You went 5-1. Now you're in the third of your 2-city swings, and you're currently 4-0 with 2 to play. The worst you can do is go 4-2. It's pretty impressive. You went 1-5, 5-1, and probably let's just say right now 4-2. And you'd have told me back on August 1st that was going to happen, I'd have said, deal, take it, bingo, nail it. Now, maybe I would have said I'd like to have a split the first series. Being selfish, but you made it up for it you made up the 1-5 by going 5-1, right? You just flipped it. You basically broke even on that 12 game or those 6 games. I'm sorry, 12 games. And again, this is not being done. The team that started August 1st is not the same one you have right now. And that's another key point. What's been the key component in all this? Well, I think the consistent rotation starting has been the biggest thing. That the quality starts are there. You had one road trip, you had six straight quality starts. Six innings of 3 earned runs or less. Pretty good. And you're doing that, you're giving yourself a chance every night to win. Granted, you're keeping them with 3 earned runs less. You can scratch out 3, you got a ball game, right? So again, what I'm taking Donna back to is what she said about, I wish we just put ourselves in first by a handful of games. And what's amazing about all this is that Fargo's played really good too, but they hadn't had this kind of trip. Now they're having it now. They got a 2-city swing now to finish the year. But I mean, you did this. You knew back in May your schedule was tough in August, and you're now 14 wins in the month. You got a shot at 16 wins in this month, perhaps more, which, by the way, has only happened, I believe, 15 times in franchise history. 13 or more wins in a month. That happened a lot. I'm sorry, 16 wins. Pardon me, 16. 13, 16. This franchise has won 16 games in a month. Be 13 times, 14 this coming up. Pretty impressive. Donis is not Winnipeg. Okay, yeah, I would. My problem with that is the travel. That's the one built-in advantage. All they need is one game here. Now, granted, for them, think of their situation. They just had a 3-city swing. Their longest trip of the year was the last one. They had to come down to Kansas City 14 hours and play 2, right? Or 1, depending on how it goes up here. But for them, that's why it was huge. If they could have gotten the number 2 seed and hosted someone, i.e. Kansas City or Sioux City, that'd have been huge because that's a huge built-in advantage playing 2 games here as opposed to, just travel. But anyway. Kenny's getting Monarchs. I'm getting it too, mate. Especially last night. And again, like I said, you can tell this morning when Morgan and Nick call me on the speakerphone from the office, from the stadium, they're giddy. I love that. I love this about my baseball family. They all get excited about it. And to hear their excitement in their voice, I mean, this is what I do every night, so I'm looking forward to it. But this is what I do. I get up and down. Thankfully, I've got Joe Capietro to keep me sort of up and down. Debbie says I had a great weekend in Sioux Falls. Did you have a good time there? I did not see you. Or did I? I did see you. How about that? Sioux Falls is a really cool town, isn't it? It's very underrated in this league. Very underrated overall. It's got a really cool downtown. The falls are cool. The little downtown, and I was told this, I meant to tell you guys this in the broadcast tonight. The bartender there at the Irish pub downtown that I went to on Saturday night told me that during Christmas, Sioux Falls, which has this little cute little main street, said it's like a movie set. It looks like a movie set. So you walk down this thing during the holidays, there's snow on the ground, lights everywhere. He says it literally feels like you're in a movie set. It has that feeling to it. And it's really a cool little town, Sioux Falls. Let's see here. Nick, what are you doing, mate? I'm coming away from yes, Nick, I'm going to miss you, mate. Nicholas, you're a good man. Nicholas is part of that ops crew that does a great job and puts up with my team. And I tell you, Jay's got a great crew. And I'm telling you, Nicholas Leon, mark my words, in about, just look him up in 10 years. Just do a Google in 10 years of Nicholas Leon. General manager of the Indianapolis Colts or something like that. You're going to see this guy. Or, director of baseball operations for the Seattle Mariners. I mean, you're going to see this guy doing something like that. That's who this guy's going to be. Trust me. This guy's got something. Got a great group of folks. Anyway, I'm here in downtown Winnipeg. I'm at Tom Bargain, Bargain, Bargen, Bargain, at the corner of Graham Mall and here on Kennedy Street. The mall thing is something that they do in Australia too. It's very Commonwealth. The long strips of street with those shops, and they're often called malls. That we call the mall. What we call a mall in the States is inside, right? What they call in Australia, New Zealand, and Commonwealth countries, the mall usually is a street with a lot of shops. In a lot of countries, they block the streets off. And for example, Australia, Hay Street Mall is not actually a mall. It's Hay Street's been blocked off. And for 4 blocks in Perth, it's all shops and it's a pedestrian mall with the old street blocked off and the street's been paved over with bricks. Yeah, you're going to do that. You're going to be there, man. You're going to be there, Nicholas. I'm telling you, mate. You're going to be there. You are. Debbie says, I had a fantastic time. We're sitting down in the front run of our diet. Yep. Were you down there chatting with Stito? Stito told me, Stito, who's watching us right now back at Kansas City, he said he'd given some advice to some fans about the Sunday game, about sitting up because the sun gets pretty bright there in Sioux Falls because there's no cover. That's actually all he was talking to. Stito would have been wearing the KC kit jersey. It probably said Stito on it, probably. He won't wear a Vaughn jersey, but he wears a Stito jersey. Just kidding. Anyway, what you guys got? Last call here. Last call again. We are in downtown Winnipeg. Tonight's ball game is at 6:30. It's beautiful today here. The sun's out. It's beautiful. So no issues with weather like yesterday. Should start on time. Pregame at 6 o'clock on the radio. We'll probably join you on AA Baseball about 10 after. They're really good about getting us on pretty quickly here. So AA Baseball TV. That'll mix a lot tonight. I haven't got the broadcast prep done yet. We're working on a Monarchs 101 tonight. We're going to do some more Canada talk, I believe. And you bet, Donna. You bet. Appreciate you guys being here. Hey, that's what this show's for, to update you guys. It's your show. It's to talk about the Monarchs. And we also talk coffee, really good coffee, like we do here in Winnipeg. Tell this place got a really good review on Google too. And I didn't realize, but I had walked by it. But the last time we were here, I walked by it across the way. I was going the other direction, and I didn't see it because it was, like I said, it kind of faces the corner to the intersection there. I was across the way, and I kind of been around. It was kind of like, oh, I got to get back to the hotel, blah blah blah. My sister and I love the downtown. Yes, that's Hay Street Mall, which is, again, you in Commonwealth countries, the word mall is different than what we call mall. Now, this Graham Street is still has buses going up and down it, but and it's the big bus street going east and west. But in Commonwealth countries, the mall usually means it's where the shops are, which is also another word that you get used to overseas. It's the shops, right? Let's see here. Debbie says, yes, he gave us advice. We already purchased tickets. I think our Thursdays for all 3 games. Yeah. Ron Grosjean's parents were there. Yes, they were there. And I was telling them on Sunday when I saw them, I said, Sneedo was down there giving advice because he goes, they and originally the funny part was Ryan's parents told me that they'd gotten comp tickets at the berm, and I guess Joe was like, no. Joe Campion was like, no. You guys are going to sit by the dugout. I'm not sure why they're putting fans of players and their parents. Comp tickets are usually in a certain section of the stadium, and why they were putting the berm, I have no idea. But the berm would be the grass berm there in Sioux Falls. Excuse me. Got my seat there. But usually you can find the visiting team at our ballpark sitting by their dugout down there by Shaggy Historian, usually. So anyway. All right. It's lunchtime for me. And head to the ballpark here about 3 o'clock. And it'll only air at 6 o'clock. I have not done Monarchs Live because I've been running shorthanded with, staff-wise. I'll try to get you Monarchs live at 5:30 on Facebook, but there's no guarantee. The broadcast has got to be ready to go at 6 sharp. So, but we will talk about the Monarchs in Winnipeg back in 1936, 35-ish, somewhere in there. We'll talk about that a bit tonight. Also, we'll have your flashback moment, all that tonight. And of course, Joe and the Around the American Association, brought to you by your Midwest Ford dealers, all that coming tonight on the radio side to give you those broadcast reminders here, which we can do here on Monarchs Mocha. There you go. There's your AA Baseball TV. That'll be tonight. You can catch us on AA Baseball TV, the video stream with our audio on it. Saw the highlights. That's where those highlights came from, and a very good production there. That'll be tonight. And also the radio side where the interactive chat, which, by the way, Steve Montgomery joined us last night. He didn't know I realized it was him, but Mongo from Sioux City chimed in, which is always good to see. But there we go. And I just spoke to him this week, too, about anyway, so I knew he's coming paying attention, but wishing him the best. Go Sioux City this week, right? Go Explorers at least the next 3 nights. We're all Explorer fans, right? All Explorer fans. And then this weekend will be Monarchs fans. But, hey, all you want is a chance to take care of things yourself. Like Donna said, it's a shame we're not ahead, but you know what? You keep it close enough, it'll be in your hands this weekend. And that's all you can really ask for. So, anyway, glad you guys stopped by today. Again, thanks to the folks here in Winnipeg for letting me raid their place and let this crazy person from the States come rolling in with the stuff. But it's Tom Bargain is the place. Google it. Check it out. Again, there was a really good review online about it. I was like, I got to check this place out. And one of the highly rated shops here, it'll be on my list. So no doubt about it. Of course, we're brought to you by the Roastery Coffee Company in Kansas City. And you can get that nitro, which I did. That nitro cold brew made it across the border. The one can made it across the border. And it did get in. But you get those at Price Chopper or one of the 6 locations in Kansas City. Also, the Legends Blend is at Price Chopper or any of your grocers around Metro KC. Each cafe is unique. I personally love the factory because I think it's so cool. And I love the plane there at the drive-thru there on Southwest. But maybe you're down by Children's Mercy or you want to go out to Leewood or wherever. Go to Roastery Coffee Company since 1993 there in Kansas City. Providing you the best coffee in KC, which is, I keep telling you, Kansas City is a top 5 coffee destination in the U.S. Period in the story. New York, meh. Chicago, meh. L.A., meh. KC, you betcha. Roastery leads the way right there. All right, everybody, glad you guys stopped by. Debbie says she works at Price Chopper. Yeah, Debbie, they do have the nitro there, right? You need to check for me. Let us know. Get us a full report tomorrow if they have it. We may be back here tomorrow. We'll see what happens. I think we can check out at 2 or something, but then we'll come back down and let these folks be bugged by me again. It's great lighting, too. I mean, the lighting makes me look 20 pounds heavier. Again, it feels very Australia right here, too, so I'm very, very cool. All right, everybody. See you on the broadcast tonight. It's ready for some 1, 2, 3, go Monarchs. You guys ready? Yeah, full report, Debbie. Show tomorrow, same time, same place, about 12 o'clock-ish. It starts the lunch hour, right? It may start at 12:55 and end at 1:55, or it may start at 12 and end at 12:55. Whenever DV gets going, right? It's probably trying to get the workout squeezed in. All right, let me bring this down here. It's just 1, 2, 3, go Monarchs. Here we go. You guys ready? I'm ready. Me. Here we go. All right, 1, 2, 3, go Monarchs. I'll see you in the broadcast. Now, everybody.